Welcome back to the Agamemnon game review. I'm Agamemnon the First. This is the Warlock Journal. Today's recording is being recorded on the 13th of September 2018. It's 1:54 p.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time. The video was captured on the 2nd of September 2018. This is part 1. You can hear the sound. Kind of all nasty. That's the Microsoft video recorder for you. It stalls. I think what's going on, it's not prioritized correctly, and it starts to lag when it's in recording. So they need to boost its priority. Here we go. This is the second or third day that we've been using the Microsoft video capture card. DVR perhaps has failed us. It ceased to work anymore. But that's technology for you. Once you get a good thing, it either ceases to exist or goes away. People don't upgrade it. The Microsoft DVR isn't all that fantastic either. It's rather annoying. Here we are. I believe this video is captured on a Sunday. We're loading up Z Lydia Marie. Gonna try to minimize the audio there. It'll correct itself, hopefully. This is the second night that we're using details in the ice HUD or heads-up display. Trying to reset up my toolbar here so that her toolbar and Lurch Mono's toolbar are almost identical setups. Only real benefit of the Microsoft DVR is that it's one clip. It's not a series of smaller clips that you have to stitch together to make one long seamless clip. That does save a lot of time, Because what was normally happening with Fraps is you'd record it and make these small little 5-minute clips basically, and they're actually 4 gigabytes, 5 gigabytes long, and then which is manageable, and then you'd have to put it together. But before you do that, you'd have to drop it in Adobe Encoder, and then change them over to MP4 files, and then delete out the AVI files that Fraps created. And then that would take, if you're recording in 2 half-hour sessions, or an hour session, the amount of clips you would get, you'd have to, that's about 2 hours to encode all those clips for the 30-minute session. So you're talking a 4-hour of processing time. And then you could actually record the voiceover, and that takes a half hour for each video. So if you get a part 1 and a part 2, some of them with 4 parts, that's another 2 hours. It could be, and then each half-hour clip, when you go to encode it for YouTube, that can take another generally an hour and a half, hour 45 minutes, sometimes 2 hours. The longest I've seen it is 3 hours for that size of a clip. And then so you have to process 2 of them. And then let's say that they're 4 hours long, that's another 4 hours altogether. And then you have to upload it, and that takes about an hour and 15 minutes, hour and a half sometimes. So from the day you shoot, you can get all those clips processed and to a point where you can upload to YouTube. You have almost 2-3 days go by. So if you run into difficulties along the way, which you always do, that can push all your video productions back. And that's sort of where we ended up in August. Alright, here we are, getting underway. I think we got some of our basic stuff done. This was still at the time, because when we left the last video, the UI was giving us problems. But you see, we've logged out, and we logged back in, and the problem's gone away. But I have learned, since I've been investigating this issue, that it's not the details or add-ons having the problem. It's a problem with the Blizzard UI. And I think it's just after you're changing maps or the screen refreshes after a while, the UI locks up or something, where it doesn't allow you to say you have to select a reward for a quest, or if you go to try to sell items to the vendor, it doesn't allow you to right click on the things, and you can't just simply refresh the UI. That doesn't clear out the thing. You have to, the only way I've been able to solve the problem is completely log out of the game, shut down Battle.net, restart Battle.net, and restart the game, and that corrects the problem. Now the problem with the audio recording is that when you go to turn on the game VR, you have to give it a priority in the processor, which you do from the task manager. But the problem is, every time you start and stop the game BVR, you'd have to go back and set the priority for that. And if you have to do that every half hour, that can eat into your time. But as of this video, the 2nd of September, we wouldn't be able to correct for that. It'd have to be on all videos going past the 13th of September. We're still using this ice heads-up display. I didn't really like it. I tried it out over the weekend there, and I really didn't like it. I ended up deleting it. And then I kept details. So in the next couple of videos, you'll see those sort of come and go. I forget what I was looking up here. I don't understand, like, the green bar. I guess that's the pet's health. But it's displayed over in those small little ones too. So I don't really see how that's improving our quality of life. I think I was looking up if I could disable the graphics for the Blizzard UI. Keep wanting to say Cryptic, but it should be Blizzard. Cryptic makes Star Trek Online and Neverwinter. So we're going around collecting these items. I believe we're making brew. That's what we're doing. And we had to take care of all these odds and chores so that we can make this brew. I've researched some video recorders. So I've been looking at the Bandicam software pack. It's a $40 investment. Been looking to get that. I don't want to really spend $40 today, but I'll put that in the queue. We'll have to suffer through the game PR technology that comes with the Windows operating system. I was reading through the Bandicam software, and I think that kind of explains why they've never updated Fraps. The last update for Fraps was in 2012, so it's had its day, and I guess the people that developed it moved on. So. I was thinking of downloading the free Bandicam, but it's only giving you 10 minutes of recording time. That's not good enough for us. So at least for the next several videos, up till see, today's the 13th. Till next Thursday, the 20th, we'll have to suffer through the Windows game bar DVR. One thing I liked about Fraps is that it was solid program and it didn't take up a lot of memory, and it just worked in a way that was complementary to whatever you were doing at the time, and especially in post-production it was very useful. The Windows one is decent, but it's not a good quality recorder. It lags in the middle of a recording, and you don't know that until you go back in post-production, and then at that point it's too late because you can't go back and reshoot everything. But Microsoft products aren't designed by gamers. They're designed by office application people. trying out different settings here. I don't see any that I really like. The more I keep hitting the button, the worse it seems to be getting, in my opinion. Look at those are ugly. That looks nasty. Looks worse. As you can see, I went one by one through each line item there, and this ultimately was the best one. And the only way that we're gonna get to deal with the audio is just to minimize it as much as possible. Lower the volume on the sound effects there. The video itself looks really nice. It's good quality, but the sound, for some reason, with the Windows stuff is nasty. And that's not the game, it's the when you're recording the game, the software's lagging because it's not set at a high enough priority for the processor. Set too low. You could change the priority in Task Manager, but you'd have to change it every time you restarted the tape, and if you're doing that every half hour, that could be a problem. You might say, well, just record an hour, but you have to make it manageable for YouTube. You want to put it at a half hour interval, roughly around that time, and then it'll upload a little quicker on YouTube. If you do the full hour, then it would take that would be an 8-hour process. So it would take you like 8 hours just to encode the clip from the Adobe Premiere. And then you'd have to upload it to YouTube, and that would take a long time. And if anything went wrong, it'd take you almost a half a day before you'd even realize it, and then to correct it, you lose another half day just per clip. So that's not very practical. Here we go. We had to go in this little layer here and execute this varmint. See, I turned off the heads-up display. At that point, I was done with it. I'm sure there are people that swear by it. It's the greatest thing ever. I didn't really like it. Now the way the sound is kind of stalling there, it makes it seem like the whole video is, but it's not. It's just the sound. The video is actually fine.